I'm so excited to be here. So, for those of you who I don't know, I'm Megan, and I have been loving Young Living for almost 7 years, which is crazy pants. What started off was just when I got pregnant with my first son, I became super aware of what I was putting in my body, what I was putting on my body. And um, I started to kind of explore and starting to look at ingredients. And I started to spend more money buying that product up on the shelf with the green leaf that was way more expensive than everything else, thinking that I was making a better decision. And then when my son was a year old, my mom got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and that just kind of blew that idea of ingredients way out of the water. I just became super hyper vigilant around what was in my products. And I was realizing that the products that I thought were safer, that I was spending more money on, that, looked really natural were actually not. And so I came to a class similar to this, and I learned a little bit more about essential oils and essential oil infused products and Young Living and their standards, and what they put in their products, and most importantly, what they leave out of their products. And so I came feeling really disempowered, like everything was going to cause cancer, that everything was going to impact my family in a negative way. And I left feeling super empowered. Like all of a sudden, I had some answers. I had some things that I could use for relief, that I could use on my kids and know was safe. And that was such a gift. And then I became super passionate. I was just like so excited with all of the oily wins that I was getting. And I couldn't help but share them with my friends. And all of a sudden, I had this business where I was able to stay home from work with my kids and eventually help my husband quit his job and open up his dream job. And now we're currently building our dream house on the water. And so it just kind of kept growing and growing, including a huge tribe of incredible women that has just been such a light in my life. And so I'm so excited to kind of help facilitate tonight. We have lots of different people sharing their stories on how these products have helped us. And so we're going to kind of take it in this like 3 layers of wellness, which is how we called this workshop, because there's kind of this 3 chunk way of looking at our health with Young Living products. And so the first that we're going to go over is essential oils. These are amazing for supporting like immediate relief. So if you're having symptoms, these are incredible things to lean towards. And we're going to go over a couple of the most popular ones, my favorite ones, um, because these are going to give you instant relief from those symptoms. Then we're going to start talking a little bit about the products that we have in our home, cleaners, beauty products, different products that you have in your homes that might have particular ingredients. Because sometimes, most often, when we switch out those products to remove those toxins and those chemicals out of our home, a lot of those symptoms that we talked about before actually go away. So it's nice to like be able to have something to deal with those symptoms right away, but then to just start getting to the root cause of what's causing those symptoms. And then that final tier, that bottom foundational layer, is really getting into some foundational nutrition. And so how we can support our bodies to get even more into the root cause, like past when we remove the toxicity, when we remove the chemicals, what's left and what kind of can we really do to support our bodies to be working at their most optimal. And so that's kind of the roadmap of where we're going to be going today. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you have skepticism, throw it into the chat or feel free to unmute yourself. I know probably speak for a lot of us who are chatting tonight is that we get super passionate and excited and we'll just be like chatting the whole time. So feel free to interrupt us, because we would typically be doing this in a living room where there is that opportunity to have conversation throughout. So we definitely want to kind of mirror that as much as we can. So if there is something in particular that you're looking for, if something really brought you here, pop it in the chat so that we can make sure that we address those specific things, because I really want to make sure that this time is valuable for you. So we're going to start right off with essential oils. It's what Young Living is known for. It's what they are famous for. You've probably heard of Young Living and essential oils. And so we're going to start talking about lavender essential oil, which I am like dousing on me so much right now in this season, but we'll get into that. But first, what are essential oils? So if you're like me, I always thought that you would take like a plant and squeeze it, like a leaf, and you squeeze it and this juice comes out, or plant, drippings. I thought that was the essential oil. It's actually not. What I learned was that essential oil is actually the lifeblood of a plant. So it actually circulates through the entire plant. It's like it's an immune system. So when it is broken, so if you break a stem of a plant and put it back together and sew it together, the essential oil is actually going to heal that brokenness. It also protects it from its environment, protects it from disease, heals it when it is broken, and it can do all of those same things for us as humans because our molecules are so similar to essential oils. So I just think that that is just like it blows my mind to think about that in this bottle. I'm like looking at my house plants. It was like inside a plant, protecting it, nourishing it, making sure it's healthy. Like that is so amazing and powerful. And it makes sense why they're so powerful when we utilize them on us. So, lavender oil in particular, I use this for seasonal allergies, which is like at an all time high right now. So, it's a natural antihistamine. I love to diffuse it with peppermint and lemon. I find that the most effective way to support my nasal passages, my itchy eyes, my itchy ears, my like tickle in my throat that all comes from allergies. And I get immediate relief when I do that. Like, even if I just smell it out of the bottle, it is so good. So, if you have used and loved Young Living lavender oil, pop it in the comments. How have you used it? What have you noticed? Of course, it's amazing for sleep. We all have heard that lavender is incredible for sleep. I have it diffusing in my boys' room right now because I also think that they are having a little bit of seasonal allergies for the first time this year, like just like congestion. And Henry has a little bit of the itchy eyes. And so it's so nice as a mom to be able to know that I have something safe to reach for that I can throw on them to see if it's going to land, right? Like, I think that that's the thing with kids is we never know exactly what the issue is. And so to be able to try some different things out and know that if anything, it's just going to support their systems, it's like a total win. So that is lavender oil. Yeah, Romy has it for the first time this year too. Allergies. I know, I must be something new. Sleep every night, allergies, burns, love it for skin soothing. Yes, so for like sunburns, so amazing for that. Okay, peppermint oil. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about peppermint oil. So you can see that this one is a white label, and that is because a lot of the essential oils in Canada have a white label on them, and they are certified through Health Canada for ingestion. So you can use them in baking. I actually put lavender, lemon, and peppermint in my water, my bubbly water tonight too, because it also helps with my allergies, like all the allergy support relief. But peppermint oil is an incredible oil to talk about, which really describes how Young Living essential oils and all of their oil infused products, so all the supplements we're going to get into are oil infused, and why they're a little bit different than any others that you might have heard of. So if you imagine two peppermint farms side by side, one peppermint farm is a Young Living peppermint farm, and they have their seed to seal promise, which we're going to get into. And the other farm is an organic peppermint farm. So they both do the same process. They plant their organic heirloom peppermint seeds. They weed by hand. They don't use herbicides, fungicides, or pesticides. They harvest, they cold steam, distill it just one time, and then they test it. And so let's say this first year they test it, and menthanol is the therapeutic property within peppermint oil. Let's say that that comes back at 43%. That is great. That is high. That is of therapeutic quality. They are going to bottle and sell that. The next year, let's say they did the exact same process, but when they test it, it's 13% methanol because we can't always control all of the things of plants, right? They're organic, they're plants. We can't control every piece of them. And so if it come back at 13%, Young Living wouldn't bottle and sell it because it's not of therapeutic quality. It's not of that high standard, but that organic peppermint farmer would because it's still organic. They didn't use herbicides, fungicides, or pesticides. They still did the same best practices that they normally do. It's just whatever happened with the plant that year. And so that is one thing that's really incredible about Young Living is that they're going to make sure that every single time you open up this bottle of peppermint to use it for a headache or to use it for digestion on your stomach, you're going to have a similar experience every time you use it. And that's what I really love. They would rather go out of stock on something, which I have been like the recipient of, like I need this, and they're out of stock. They would rather go out of stock and lose money than put out an inferior product. And I love that integrity. Like that just feels so good to me to know that that is truly where their heart is, they want to be putting out really exceptional product every single time. And that seed to seal promise, so that control from when they plant the seed to bottling it and selling it, that whole process, all of their products go through. So when you get into the supplements, it's the same thing. They all go through this really, really rigorous high standards. Um, so if you have used peppermint oil, pop it in the chat, and Sydney is going to share a little testimony about peppermint oil. So you can go ahead and unmute, Sydney.
So before Young Living, I suffered from bad anxiety, and at night it would hit me really hard. So my mom would always be like, just take it to gravel, take a gravel. And so like I was like, okay. And that's the only way I could find that I was getting any sort of relief or anything. And then once we found Young Living, I started using peppermint on my stomach, and I would even like put a drop on my tongue, and I felt like I got more relief with peppermint quicker than I got it with gravel. And then I also suffer with really bad headaches, and I've been to the doctor and put me on like stuff, and it just hasn't worked. And the only thing that I can find is peppermint, and I don't dilute it. I just like put it on straight, and I find like it's the only thing now.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, isn't it crazy when we get like these other alternatives that aren't working for us? We're just like wanting relief so badly. And then when we can go back to like these little bottles of plant magic, isn't it shocking? Like I just remember the first time it worked for me, I was just like, whoa, what? This is crazy. Thank you so much, Sydney. And if you want to, you can actually stay unmuted and share about DiGize too.
Yes. So the same like with the anxiety and stuff. Um Even like if I eat something that my stomach doesn't agree with, like DiGize is on my bedside table. It's everywhere really in the house. And it's the only thing that my mom and I will grab for now if like we're not feeling great. And yeah.
It's amazing. So digest oil is a blend of essential oils, and it is blended for a purpose for digestion, for indigestion, heartburn, any kind of digestive stuff. Um, it was the first oil that really made me realize that it was blended for a purpose and not for an aromatic scent because it does not smell very great. But just like Sydney, like thank you so much, Sydney, for sharing your story. It's all I grab for now too. My kids as well. Like we just have roller tops on them like all over the house, and it gives instant relief of that upset stomach. And it's just, and I think that sometimes too, if my kids are feeling nervous and like their stomachs are sore from like that anxiety stomach, it helps and supports that too. And that's what I love about how versatile these oils are. So anything for digestion, it's absolutely incredible. So now we're going to kind of switch gears. So we've hit up with lavender, kind of like the Swiss Army knife of oils. When in doubt, lavender for everything. Peppermint oil for like that digestion, muscles, achiness, headaches, and then DiGize for like digestion and supporting our digestive systems. And now we're going to move into a little bit of hormone support. And so, Anne, if you want to hop on and share a little bit about your favorite hormone oil.
Yes, definitely my favorite, and probably a few other people on here too. So, Progessence Phyto Plus. This is a serum. So, where we've talked about a few oils that you might use in a couple different ways, this one you might use it in a couple different ways, but not necessarily diffusing. This would be a serum that you're applying topically. So, the way that I use it is on my forearms like this. And then I do this like awkward move like this to get it on here. And whenever I am like getting uncomfortable, so what I notice is that if I don't use it, I have uncomfortable cycles, and everyone is different. So, I certainly have heard from people this has drastically changed their world because they've gone from days of really being uncomfortable to almost being shocked when their cycle comes. And I have had that, like that kind of embarrassing thing happen when it comes, But at the same time, I am way happier to have the surprise than to have what I had before, which was migraines, or I get sometimes my tummy gets upset like a day or two before my cycle. And to go from having those on a regular basis to now being surprised, I'll take it. So that's been the biggest change for me. And I've heard, so for me, I apply it topically. If I feel like a migraine's coming on, I'll even, because I know my migraines are hormonally linked, I'll put it right on my temples now, or on my tummy if my tummy is upset. I also was just talking to a friend who puts a few drops into her facial moisturizer, and that's how she's using it on her face. So there's lots of ways to use it, but it is definitely, I know there's many people on my team that would not go a day without it.
That's me. I would definitely not go a day without it. The months that I don't use it consistently, I can totally tell in my cycle. It's just like insane. I love having no symptoms. I love like feeling the energy shifts throughout my month and knowing that like they're there for a purpose and not feeling like bogged down with other symptoms that don't need to be happening. And who, like, I feel like we're taught that it's normal, like that everybody should be having these symptoms, but it's not. And then all of a sudden, when you don't have it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to tell everybody because we need to know that we don't need to, be uncomfortable. Thank you, Anne. And so now I will pass it on over to Trisha to chat a little bit about the Thieves line.
Yeah, so the Thieves line is based on the Thieves oil. And the Thieves oil is highly antibacterial and antiviral, and it just is great for building up our immunity and killing germs. And then we've got a whole product line for the house based on that. So all your cleaners for the house and hand soap and laundry soap and all of that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Thieves so that you see the value in having that in all your products. When I first got my kit, we were off on a trip to England to see my husband's family. And normally when we go over there, we'll spend the first week of our holiday sick because of whatever germs we picked up on the plane. Well, after I got my oils kit, I took Thieves with me and I wiped down like the tray table and the seat belts and the armrest. And also we each like put a little bit and like breathed it in. And we didn't get sick on the flight. So we had our whole first week of our holiday to enjoy. And also we were staying with a family that was sick and we didn't pick it up from them. I just kept putting Thieves on my kids and on Jim and I every night, and we just didn't pick up anything. And then I used my Ningxia packets out of my kit too to get over jet lag, and that worked like amazing. And then the one time, I don't know why I did this, but I don't know if I was lazy or forgetful. I didn't clean up our area on a plane on one flight and we got sick. So it's like, it's like it proved to me. So every time I go on a plane and people walk by and they're like, something smells like cinnamon, and I'm like, it's not me. And then some people use Thieves every day on their body and on their kids' body so that they don't get sick for immunity. But I found since I've switched out all the cleaners and soaps in our house with Thieves stuff that I don't have to do that. I'm getting a little bit in my body all the time. We're not getting sick. If we do get a little tickle, I've got a roller top I put on my Thieves oil and I just roll it here, or I put a little Thieves in some honey, in some hot water, have a drink, and it just goes away. So we are like, when people tell me that their family's been sick for 2 weeks, I'm like, what? That still happens to people? Like, I can't believe it. My kids are sick, they're sick for a day. And so the reason why the Thieves work so well in the house cleaners is because there are lots of hidden chemicals in our cleaners that put a burden on our body. So anything that says fragrance or perfume, that can be a trade secret for a company, and they don't have to reveal the many, many chemicals that make up that perfume for the product. And no one is holding them accountable for what they put in the products. So they have, if they think that their own product can be damaging to people, then it's up to them to research it and pay for that research. And what company is going to do that? They're not doing that. And then a lot of companies are jumping on the bandwagon of putting, you know, green leaf on their product, or labels that say organic, but not every item in their product is organic. Like, I remember buying baby shampoos for my kids that were more expensive because it looked like a natural thing. And then when I used this app that tells me how clean a product is, it was like totally dirty. And I was putting that on my little preemie babies. So I know I've been to the Young Living conventions, I've been to the farms, I've learned so much about the company, and I can just trust them 100% that anything that is in their catalog of 600 items is going to be healthy for my body, my kid's body. I'm not reading labels anymore, and we're not getting sick because we don't have all those things in our home. And what they send to you is really small. And that's because they don't add any water to their product because they don't want to ship water. Megan's holding up a couple bottles. Those two are things that I recommend to every friend and family member because they work and they're so important. The laundry soap, that, you know, is so important because a lot of people have like chemicals in their laundry soap, and then their clothes are against their body all the time, or their sheets are against their body. And our skin is like a sponge, and it soaks up those chemicals. And then our immune system is taxed with fighting off and like clearing the body of those chemicals. And it's great that our body can do that, but then it leaves less strength to fight the germs that are coming in that make us sick. So I tell everyone about it. The cleaner is cheap. Like if you're switching from your regular cleaner from the grocery store, this cleaner is cheaper. So this is why I tell everyone, because it's amazing. And your clothes will smell like freshly dried on a clothesline outside. They don't have a strong perfume. They just smell fresh, and they're clean. I ran out of that once, and I went back to my old detergent, and I was wiping off after a shower with a towel, and it just smelled musty. So I decided I'm never going without that detergent again. It just smells so clean. And I know that it's great for all our bodies.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree. Let me just see. Sorry.
And it smells like Christmas. It's a blend of things that smell like Christmas. So it's like, how could you not?
Right? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And you
It
can have
smells so good.
you can have a box of 20 different cleaning products that have been marketed to you for cleaning different items in your home, and replace it with that one bottle of cleaner, because you just need this one cleaner diluted. You put a capful in a big spray bottle of water,
Mhm.
and that cleans everything. And if you've got a hard job to do, like your oven or toilets or barbecue, you just make another bottle that has maybe 2 capfuls in it, and a drop of lemon, which is a great degreaser, or lemon oil. So you don't need all those different products that are marketed to us. You can use this one cleaner for everything.
It feels like the easy button, you know, like it's like
Mm.
good for us. If anything, it's going to support our systems, not deplete our systems. It's going to like boost our immune system passively. And then it's also just super easy and affordable. So it's like a total no-brainer. Thank you so much, Trisha. That was so helpful and so clear about how the products that we have in our home really do matter. Like those symptoms that we were talking about, the fogginess, headaches, or different symptoms that you might just have gotten used to that are you think are normal. very likely will shift as you switch out your products that you're using in your home. And like, I am the first to say I used to use like all of the dryer sheets, and like I would smell each of the laundry detergents to see which one smelled best that I could put it in. And so as we learn about what is in our products, we get to make different choices. So definitely one of my faves.
And
for
I
sure.
was a person that used to use vinegar and water. And now I appreciate this because I feel like it cleans better and it smells way better. And then I didn't trust my vinegar and water for like the bathtub and the toilet and stuff. So I was using those powerful ones that make you like feel dizzy and like you're going to pass out. So I just, it was good. So if you're a vinegar and water person, you can use this cleaner for everything and it smells better.
100%. Totally. Okay, and now we're going to shift into that kind of like foundational supplements. And so all of our supplements are infused with essential oil, which actually makes them more bioavailable, which means that your body is actually absorbing the supplement at a higher rate than if it didn't have essential oils in it, which I think is so cool, because I know that there was lots of times where I was taking supplements and being like, is this even doing anything? Or am I just like peeing it out? Like, I want my body to be absorbing what I'm taking in. And so that's one thing that's really cool about our supplements, is that they're infused with these essential oils to help our bodies increase the absorption rate so that we're actually getting benefit from them. So I'm going to pass it over to Shauna to talk about one of her faves, Sulfurzyme.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much. So this is Sulfurzyme. It comes in Canada as a natural healthcare product in capsules. This here is powder. I love the powder. You can get it through the NFR side, which all you need to do is switch your little flag at the top. So when we're fortunate that we have access to both Canadian and US markets. So Sulfurzyme is amazing because, like Megan said, it's got oils in it. It's infused with the Ningxia wolfberry, and it's got MSM, which is really interesting. Don't ask me to say what it is because I have a problem, but it's basically a natural way for us to get dietary sulfur in our diets, which we all need. And what it does is it promotes basically whole body wellness, our immune systems, our joints, our hair, nails. And so when I started using this sort of as I'm going to show you to someone. I went to a doctor for an issue that I had been struggling with, and he basically shook my hand and said, "You're going to be taking this, and this for the rest of your life." And I'm like, well, or I could look at a holistic approach, and maybe, what do you think about this? And we had a little bit of a set two in his office. He's saying, well, I'm an MD. And I'm like, well, I'm a therapist. And it was an interesting experience. But I walked out of his office determined to find something that was going to support specifically my joints and my muscles and my movement. And I took it regularly. So I'm not sure about the capsules, but this I take about half a teaspoon in the morning. I actually make red drink, which is a combination of this Ningxia mixed with water. And I actually use an empty Ningxia bottle, and then you put a little bit of the Lime Plus in it. It is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. So, so good. And so I take that and take it daily, and I've noticed a huge difference. And 6 months later, when I went back for a checkup, he was like, well, whatever you're doing, don't stop. So I haven't. And I love it, love it, love it. It's so, and it's actually really delicious too, especially with the Ningxia. But I'm so happy with what it allows me to do. In fact, I'm on like day 160 of yoga, and I'm doing it totally with ease and movement of my joints. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
That is incredible. 160 days of yoga? Girl, that is amazing. Yes, I take Sulfurzyme daily. I go back and forth between the capsules and the powder, but you're inspiring me to get back into that red drink because it is so tasty. Yes, I know it's one of those ones that when I'm taking it, I'm like, oh, I feel so great. I feel so like limber and like I can do all of the things. And then I'll kind of fall off taking it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, like creaky and like uncomfortable. It just really helps to lubricate those joints and to create that movement, I find. MSM is also a natural anti-inflammatory. So it just like takes that inflammation right out in all of your systems. So like digestion and joints and
Yeah, and it's a free radical scavenger. So it kind of goes after those free radicals and it goes whoosh and it clears them out. So it's really great. And
amazing.
antioxidants too.
Yes, because it has wolfberry in it too. It's like all the things.
It's all the things.
I love it. Um, okay, so it's actually when I'm thinking about it's all the things. It's like hair, skin, and nails. They talk about it a lot because when we have core issues going on, our bodies pull back from hair, skin, and nails because they're like the least important thing. So it really is like that whole body nutrient that's going to like fill in all the gaps, and then you see it in your hair, skin, and nails. So it's kind of cool. Okay, essential enzyme 4. Ooh, you're not gonna be able to see that. This is a digestive enzyme. So if you're like me and then you're like, digestive what? I had never even heard of digestive enzymes before. We are born with digestive enzymes. Our bodies make digestive enzymes. And when we hit about 20, our body starts to make less and less and less every year. So it's something that we want to supplement on. And what they do is they help break down the food in our body so that our body can easily absorb it. So I take them daily. My husband takes them daily. He has Crohn's disease. So it just really helps to break down that food so that his body can absorb it in a more fluid and easy way. We actually did this experiment where we took a bowl of oatmeal, and there's 2 capsules in here. They're both, of course, infused with essential oils as well. But one is a delayed release capsule and one's an immediate release. So I opened up the capsules into the oatmeal and stirred it. And within like 5 minutes, the whole bowl of oatmeal was liquefied. And I think that just really shows exactly what it does in your body. It just really breaks down the food in your body so that your body can absorb the nutrients, absorb the good, and help to push the bad out. And so like I said, I take it every day. I just find that it's so good for like bloating and just regularity and digestion. But I'll even take more if I've eaten something that my body doesn't like. So like, for example, tonight, because everything is a balance, right? We're talking about like natural wellness and making our bodies feel good. But we were like in between ball practice and doing all of the things. And I took my kids to Dairy Queen and I had some, and my body was like not happy. So like right away, I take digestive enzymes and I feel relief. Like it's just like pulling out all the things that's like, what are you doing? Why are you eating this? And pulls it out. And so I love to have these on hand in my purse in case I eat or drink something that just doesn't agree with me. It just really helps to expedite that process of expelling it from my body. So super, super awesome. Love this for all things digestion. And then to kind of wrap it up with the supplements, I'm going to hand it over to Emily, who's going to talk about Ningxia Red, which is what Shauna was talking about when she talked about the red drink, adding in Ningxia with the sulfurzyme powder. So I will pass it on over.
Hey, hey. I am so happy to talk about
we can't hear you.
Ningxia.
Oh, there you are. You're there. I hear you now.
Oh.
Sorry. I was just really on it.
Okay. I am so happy to talk about Ningxia because I recently, like, to me, it's all about patterns of habit. And I know it's good for me, but if I just, like, some people take it in the afternoon because it gives them that energy boost, and some people take it at bedtime because it is calming. I find it uplifting, so I like it in the morning. But if I'm not consistent, then I just forget. And it occurred to me like a couple months ago, why do I always pre-make my coffee the night before? So I just wake up and I press on, like, that's so I don't miss it. So when I go to bed, I leave my Ningxia shot glass and my frankincense, because this is it comes in a white label. I know that Megan talked about that. Just as a stipulation, it is approved by Health Canada for ingestion. And if you're going to do something after tonight's class, you could Google frankincense and why you might want to take it internally. So I put my bottle of frankincense next to my shot glass, and I wake up first thing in the morning. I don't know if you've heard that big bang. That was a lot of homeschool supplies. I take 1 shot of this. So it's only 1 ounce is a serving. And I don't know if you can see, it might be a little, oh, I think it's too mixed, but often down here, it's a little heavier down here. You can see it's a slightly different color. That is all the puree that settles. So it goes like kind of red up here and like thick pinky. You can see the difference. That is sediment. That is huge about why this is not a juice, but like a liquid supplement, because it is the complete Ningxia wolfberry that is pureed in here, along with cherry and pomegranate and blueberry and lots of things. I actually don't know them all, because you don't have to know everything to talk. But so I actually, it comes in double serving packs, which I love to put in the freezer and then scoop out. And then with something like this, I would probably scoop out like the bottom half and have it later, scoop out more later. But for my son, my baby, he drinks it as well. And I just stick one of our stainless steel straws right in here, and it goes to the bottom, and he just sucks it right back. He loves this. So he has it daily, one of these, a whole packet. And my older daughter, or one of my daughters, has one. So with me, I do it daily because of all it's like free radical attack on any cells that might be going wonky in your body. Like it's so oxidization is when free radical cells start to duplicate inside your body. And this is anti-oxidative. So just with like, this is the age where we people in my demographics start to go for like wrinkle creams and things. I am going for the Ningxia because I want all of that internal support. And for my children, they get it as a treat, and every one of them knows if anybody has like any kind of a skin issue or intestinal thing or a cold, they're the ones that get Ningxia. So sometimes there's a little jealousy when somebody falls ill in my house because they're getting the Ningxia. Like my baby gets a whole 2 ounces a day. But then we have to talk about, you got to have their illness as well as the Ningxia. And then they think, oh, okay, I'll get my turn. So with 5 kids, that's how I do it. They all get it when they're ill. I take it daily. So I wake up, I put my frankincense in my Ningxia glass, I take my shot, slam it back, and then I put on my hiking shoes and I go for my daily walk. And it's not until after like an hour later that I have coffee or whatever. So I love that being the first thing in my stomach. And I just feel that energizing on my walk. And I'm usually carrying a baby as well. And I can just tell the difference. It's crazy. And new to me is I've started filling my coffee pot with decaf at night instead of caffeine, because I just don't need it. I've done my walk, I'm taking my Ningxia, and I don't need the caffeine. So it is now decaf in there at night. So that is a huge win, especially considering that I am still nursing a baby all night long. So I have 5. I'm not nursing all 5, Megan, but I am still like, I have a 1.5-year-old and I am up like all nights. We co-sleep. So I'm not getting restful sleep. So I feel the Ningxia, like for that to get me off caffeine is huge. I do enjoy coffee once in a while, but I prefer decaf. So some interesting things about Ningxia though is, so when you get it, you always want to shake it up because it's the puree, like you want to get all of that stuff. So 1 serving of Ningxia, 1 ounce, like that's a half a shot glass, is 7.5 servings of fruit and vegetables. Did you know that? That's massive. So I'm essentially like taking 7.5 servings. How much fruit would I have to take on my walk with me if I was mowing that down as my wake up? Like I can't even imagine. That would be a lot of food. 7.5 servings. And the thing that I was impressed by when Megan came over and told me about Ningxia, she was like, oh, like Ningxia. not in that voice, not in that voice, but a very like cheerleadery. And I was like, oh, come on. I don't know why you're talking all about Ningxia. She's like, you've got 2 packs. You've got to put it in your fridge. You'll love it. I swear. I didn't really believe her, honestly, because I'm skeptical. But when I started to research, like thankfully, Megan she supports my research. So she was like, the more you look into it, the more you'll fall in love. And then I heard about this thing called the ORAC scale. And the ORAC scale stands for, I had to write it down because I don't know these things, oxygen radical absorbance capacity. So that is the, I underlined it, what that means. Just one second. That is, the food's ORAC score is a measure of its free radical fighting capacity. So here's a comparison. Like there are actually, I didn't know there are 2 different types of wolfberry. You might know wolfberry as goji berry. That's another name for it. But it comes from China. So there's Chinese wolfberry and Ningxia wolfberry. And Ningxia is a region in China. And that is where Young Living like bottles and packages all of this right in Ningxia. And it's a staple in their diet over there. Ningxia wolfberry on the ORAC scale measures at the top end, like of whole foods. There is not a comparison. 302 on the scale, like equivalent weights. Like you all know, like hands up if you know blueberries are antioxidants. Okay, blueberries score 32. 302. 32, the same weight. It's not like a whole bottle versus 2 blueberries. The same weight of Ningxia wolfberries, 302 versus 32 for blueberries. The Chinese wolfberry, the other one, is only 202. That is a massive difference on this scale because most of the fruits and veggies that they measure, like plums, they are 28. Pomegranates, I knew about pomegranates. That's 105 on the scale. This is like 3 times as much as pomegranate per weight. So the fact that we're getting the best wolfberry and we've added essential oils for that bioavailability that Megan talked about, so it absorbs better. We've also added the entire wolfberry, like the fiber, all of it, the minerals and vitamins that you get, along with all those other berry purees, just makes it the thing that I will hoard my oils. I'm going to just like buy. And if Young Living only ever sold one product and I bought it monthly, it would be Ningxia because this stuff is game changing. And I think you should all drink it. Drink it cold, drink it hot, drink it wherever you want. You'll just notice, like just do it. Actually, here is somebody else who used to be a customer. Now she loves Young Living so much. She actually shares it on purpose. And she was so against the idea of like additional things like Ningxia, just like I was. So I felt for her. She just said to me the other day, I feel like people do a 30-day Ningxia challenge. I think she said it to a group of us. People do a 30-day Ningxia challenge, like to see the difference. But she said people should actually do a 30 days without Ningxia because that will speak far more to people than the 30 days of doing it because you feel better and you're moving and you probably don't notice, like it could be the weather, it could be this, that. Take Ningxia out of your life and then you'll know. I have used it when I was nursing and I felt mastitis coming along. I was like, increase the Ningxia. Anytime when I was breastfeeding, increase the Ningxia. When I just had a brand new baby, I was drinking probably like 4 times as much. I was just like, every time I nursed, that was my reason to have Ningxia, some oils like lime and lemon, some ice, some soda water. It was like a party. It's like a mama cocktail. So I was drinking them every few hours and I was not mad about it at all. So I love Ningxia and I get it with one of the things I love about our monthly rewards is you get a lot of points and I started saving up my points and buying the 8-pack. So my pantry always has Ningxia in it.
Do you love Ningxia, Emily?
I do. I do love it. I do love it. Yep.
I love it too. I'm no person to poke fun because I am the same. I love to have it with like sparkling water and some oils in it as like a little mocktail in the afternoon. Makes me feel real sassy and special.
Yes, and Ningxia gummies, like there's so much. I even add Ningxia to when my son was first eating food, it was mixed in his porridge, and we add it to our granola bars. Like, I'm all about the Ningxia. And you can buy the whole wolfberry from Young Living too. Like, just add that to your cereal, your granola. You get all that antioxidant. There's lots of ways to get that power, but it's kind of nice to drink it.
It's easeful, right? It's just like those moments where you're just like, okay, I can either shoot this back, get it in and be done with it, or I can make it into a cocktail and have a great time, and lots of different ways.
It's a treat.
So it is a treat. Do you want to continue on, Emily, with sharing your
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Get right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen real quick. It is so fun that we're all here together, and I love seeing everybody's faces. Unfortunately, now I'm going to like erase you all and share my screen. Okay, here we go. So one of the cool things, like Young Living has so many products that are game changing in your life. But another one is the business opportunity. It's an option. If you want to earn income, it's an option. It just like if you want to order Ningxia, please do. Please also earn money from Young Living if you'd like to. First of all, I just wanted to share, like, we're just this tiny little group that decided to get together tonight and rave about the things we love, but we are not the only people who love Young Living and choose Young Living over any other option out there. So here are some popular people that you might know of, and they also use Young Living because Young Living really is 30 years. We're a legacy company. We've 30 plus years of doing natural wellness and distilling oils and infusing them into our products and farming the old-fashioned way. Like, we're the true deal. And so you can choose this as, if you want to order Ningxia and get it paid for, you can do that. Once you've fallen in love with these products, it's so easy to share. Somebody once asked, like, with network marketing, does that mean that the products are marked up so that then you're making money off your friends? And that's not even the case. The prices are kept so low. In fact, with a free wholesale membership, you get 24% off the price that these would be at a store. So you're getting a huge discount. But what Young Living has done is they've set aside their marketing budget, which companies pay millions and millions and millions into their marketing budgets. But then they're just like, it's like walking through with a fly swatter in the dark. You're trying to hit a fly and you'll eventually hit one, but you're just like swatting in the dark. That's not a very effective way to spend your money. So instead, companies like Young Living, they put all their marketing dollars into a connection to the person who's sharing. So instead of putting billboards and ads and TV commercials, they're just going to thank Megan when she shares with somebody, and then they're going to thank Anne when she shares somebody. So it's like a post advertisement, like after the thing. It's the sequel to the connection. Instead of pre-paying and hoping it lands with somebody, they'll pay after from their marketing budget. So it doesn't come off the cost of our products. So when you fall in love with these things, like I have and everybody else here, you can just tell your story. That's the first step. So if you are a fan and you would use these products, even if Young Living didn't pay you, which I know we could all like double raise our hands about that, then you qualify as somebody to do this as a business and to share authentically with people. All you have to do is invite them to take a look. It's not for everybody, and it's okay to let them know that. Like, you might not love these as much as I do, but I think you will. Can you take a look? And then just listen to them and hear their story and honor them, because not everybody's ready when you're ready, and not everybody's ready when you're ready for them to be ready. And that might not ever be for them, and that's okay. Personally, I don't want free radicals in my body. And so I'm grateful to know how to like fight that, but that might not be for everybody. So there's lots of options. Like, you can earn just enough to pay for your product. So every time that you share with another person in your life, Young Living is going to mail you a thank you check. And that could be just enough to cover your products. And that might be all you want to do. you might have a vision for paying the bills and paying off a little bit more, maybe that car payment, your credit card, like what could $500 a month extra pay for? Probably a lot of bills, especially in this time when we have kids who want to do all the activities. That could just cover those for you. Or you can have a Megan Mar dream and want to build your house on the ocean. Like, you can dream as big as you want to. Nobody's going to tell you which lane to choose. That's totally up to you. And not everybody is going to succeed at this, but most people don't even try. So if you love the products, you're probably going to talk about them anyway. So it's okay for Young Living to thank you for that work. This is how I did it. I got started. I was so skeptical, did my research, used the products, and I truly did fall in love with them. So I asked Anne to come to my house and she taught a class. 3 people signed up that night, but it could have been 4. So for my example, I'm going to use 4 here. Those 4 people, they started to rave about these things that they had learned about it. It was just our excitement in inviting, like, I'm so excited about what I learned. I learned new things. Like, I saw somebody in the chat say, I didn't know you could use that for allergies. When you find out these things and then you go and share it with somebody with allergies, they want to know more. So then they hosted classes and people came up. But because I was that window into those first 4 people, Young Living thanked me for each of them. And then Young Living recognized that I was the connection. So I got thanked for all the other people as well. Every single month, those thank you checks keep coming. But the people who hosted the class, they got thanked as well. So there is, like, here it goes. And then they build a team and they invite. And they might, some of these people might just be customers sharing with their mom and their sister and their cousin. They want to sleep better, or their neighbor or their colleague at work. They're still going to get thanked. And this is how you can build a bigger team, because it's not all like directly connected to me. We're only those top 4 people, but everybody has a few people in their life that need to know more. And the wonderful thing is we're hosting classes all the time, and all you have to do is invite them to come to one of these workshops with you. It is so easy. Here is the income disclosure statement. The possibility here is really, there's no cap on that. It's really, what is your dream? What is worth it for you? How much would you like to make? And a lot of these numbers could be life-changing. So it's a lot to process, but like, break it down here. When you tried these products, when you find them to be as extraordinary as we do, would you recommend them? And then when other people fall in love with them, would you hate that Young Living thanked you? Probably not. So what if you kept growing? There really is no cap in the enthusiasm of a life well lived with purpose and abundance and love for others, and how that will affect more and more people and get them excited to get healthy. You might not know a lot of people, but you probably have one person in your life that might know a lot of people. And if they fell in love, and when they start raving about the things they've tried, I bet you they would have a lot of people who'd be listening and want to know more. So it's your life and it's your health. And I hope you feel empowered to look into it more, to Google frankincense, to try Ningxia, to ditch those chemicals, and to sort out your hormones. Like, this is all, you choose what you want, where you want to grow. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this amazingly powerful community. And there you go.
I feel like that was just like mic drop, like so great. I'm just so grateful to have all of the women who spoke tonight to share their stories. I'm so grateful for all of the women that showed up tonight to witness the stories and hear them. I hope that it landed well for you. If you have questions, please reach out. Connect with the person who invited you to tonight, and they can help you get set up with whichever avenue is best for you. We are going to take a quick boomerang. Thank you, Anne.
Nice settle.
Okay, so boomerang, you have to move, but Anne's not going to move because she's taking the boomerang. We have learned this the hard way. Okay, so you count us down.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, you guys are fun. I love it. Really good.
I feel like boomerangs are such a fun way to end. It's like creating this energy, this movement.
I love you guys.
So thank you so much for coming. Thanks for spending the last hour with us. I hope that you leave feeling empowered and excited that there are options for you, that there are choices, all the way from oils to help relieve some of your symptoms, ditching and switching some of the products in your house to kind of alleviate those symptoms as well, and start to support your body in a more holistic way. Some foundational nutrition ideas to really start to get into those core issues and to support your body. And then, of course, the business as a potential opportunity for you as well. So lots of things to kind of mull over and to consider. Definitely connect in with the person who invited you. They can give you lots more information. But we are just so excited for you to be part of our tribe, to join us tonight. And we hope that you had an amazing time, and we will see you